So it's not every day where something comes through my door that breaks the typical mold of what I've seen so far. Especially since now that I've been doing a couple of earbud reviews, actually quite a good bit, and I've tested a lot of different products, and obviously this one's an exception, and you can watch this video. This is an interesting product over here as well. But this is something that's very unique that comes through my door. And I, of course, like to give it a good, thorough look over, but I also want to start off by just taking a moment to recognize that something unique came through the door, and credit to them for at least doing that, because I've had a couple examples where things exactly identical, have come through my door, and that requires me to do a little bit of research about which one came first. So, first off, let's talk about this. This obviously looks like a very unique product. I like the packaging, very shiny, very eye-catching, things like that. It does kind of seem like something you'd find in like the airport tech store or something like that. I don't know, seems kind of like that. So let's take a moment to look at just the overall view of everything. It's kind of shiny. This package got a little torn up, I think, in shipping, or either I might have dropped it. I'm not going to blame them on that, just so you got a couple scratches on it. Which looks like they have a foil wrap on it. Looks pretty nice, and it's of course got a hanging thing, so if you want to sell these, have a bunch of these to sell, then that'd be another option. So, what is so special about this product, you may ask? Well, unlike some of these that actually have, like, iPhone adapters to charge directly in the phone, we've got something that has a USB, actual full USB port to charge devices. So technically, you can charge a large number of things. Basically, anything that's got a USB connection, you can hook it up and charge, and has a lot more availability and options for adapters. I think it's good on them. Good job. So we're gonna get into the unboxing. We'll go through and do sound test, review all that stuff, and then we'll get into it. Okay, so take a look at this. So it's got a simple slide out here, and you got some attention, some instructions. Yeah, well, at least I told you something may happen, and at least I told you rather than like having you have to figure it out or Google it. So you got instructions. We don't need instructions or how to pair wireless earbuds. So here we are. Let's take a look. So this is what I was talking about here, and it's not on the side. It's this side. So you got yourself a USB port, and then of course the input for charging. You flip this open. It is a pretty bulky option. It's actually a little difficult to get off as well. So it does look quite interesting. You've got quite small pins compared to the size of the case. It does look pretty massive. The material is on the inside does not necessarily feel the most high quality, but that's pretty much that. Let's take a look at the earbuds themselves. So these earbuds, quite interesting. They've got pretty much like a blue. These came in blue, but there's other options. Not a metal, but more of like a high quality plastic finish. There's like a little layer of plastic on this. It's like a glass maybe. And I don't necessarily, it looks like, I don't know, maybe like light plastic or something. There's no button. No button whatsoever. That's very weird. Oh, wow. So, it looks like, I don't even know how they did this. This is very weird. They actually made it so it's like touchscreen. Not necessarily you're going to have like fingers showing up on here, but it's all like, there's no button. You just hold it, and then it does all the operations, I guess, from the electricity coming from your hand. So, that's pretty dang impressive. So it looks like it looks really impressive. So let's actually take this out now. Let's test like how well it fits in the case and things like that. So one thing I do like about this is you can charge both your earbuds and your phone at the same time, which I've tried this, and I don't know exactly what to think of it. It's quite an interesting option. So I'm going to do a sound test on here, and actually my little bit of experience with trying this. Actually, this was really difficult to get to start. Like I put the iPhone charger, because I have an iPhone, and I put that in there, and I hooked it up to my phone. Nothing happened, so I had to actually I forget what I did. I think I put the earbuds in and took them out, and then it started charging. And so only when those lights came on did it start charging. So yeah, that was a little interesting experience, but it did work. So let's do a sound test, talk about the sound, and then we'll wrap up. So here's a little look at sound. So let's put these in. See the sound? As for how they look a little odd, and they look kind of large, rather large, and they're slightly a bit difficult to get out. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so we got here. They don't they're rather large and they do feel a little bit difficult to get off. Let's see, is there something to pop out here? No. Am I missing something, or is this the only size that they come in? There's no size changing, so you're stuck to whatever size. Oh boy. So let's listen to a little music, shall we? So I usually play a couple of different songs so I can get a feel. I have a certain song that I like to play that's really good on the bass, and then you really can tell how much bass something has. And then there's a couple other songs that you can really tell exactly how much is how much treble and stuff you have and how crisp it is. So right off the bat, it's quite actually crisp. It's really clear sound. As for the bass, I'm really having a little difficulty hearing any of it. So I'm going to try a different song. See what I can find. But just try a different song here. See what we got here. Let's just try. Yeah, here we are. So we'll try a different song, and this just allows me to hear the bass on it, and so I can really hear if it's. Let's see what we got here. So it's there, and I'd probably put it at like maybe a 3 to like a 5 on the bass. As for the crispness, it's probably around an 8 or a 9, so it's very crisp. But for those of us that like the heavy bass, I would arguably say it's very I don't know, it's very lacking in that department. And you know, I've had a couple other earbuds that I reviewed that have had kind of similar issues where the bass is almost non-existent. This is definitely on the lower end on the bass, but it's definitely very crisp. So as for uniqueness, well, it definitely gets unique points. I've got to say it's a very unique experience, having the ability to charge stuff as well as the ability to, you know, no buttons on here, which I don't know how they did that, but good for them. They're rather chunky, pretty big in your ear. I think they look fine. They have no issues. They have no flashy lights like I've had in the past. Charging seems pretty relatively easy. You've got a charged indicator to show how many charges and stuff you have left. Really nice locking case mechanism. You're not going to have a problem with this coming apart at all. You're not going to have this opening up in your backpack. Definitely nice case. So I've got to say that, give them credit for that. Everything else besides that, it does feel a little cheap. The earbuds, I do wish could have been made out of like some other material maybe, or just kind of done a little bit differently, because they do feel slightly cheap, as well as the inside of this really did not get finished same level. So overall, it does kind of have more of a cheap feel. I'd say maybe a 4 out of 10. As for sound quality, since we have the treble really high, a 9, and I'd say the bass is probably around a 3 or a 4, it's kind of hard to say on that department. It's kind of probably a mid-range, I'd say 6, and for the price of $50, it's quite an interesting option. For $50, it's a little debatable. There's a lot of other options out there for $50. Actually, these are all $50 right here. These are all $50 options, and they've all have their own problems, and they're all very unique. These two are the only that charge your phone, so you're getting to charging the ability to charge your phone and your earbuds at the same time with these two. This one has a lot of usability issues. This one actually has a lot of, like, the sound quality is not the best, but this is the best sound quality that I've ever had in a pair of earbuds. And then this, of course, is kind of the $50 pair that looks really nice, kind of all well-rounded, but no charging of your phone. So you've got to kind of look at this and say, well, there's a lot of different things that each of these three that I've reviewed so far, each kind of have their own quirks. And so that's kind of the odd one. Now, obviously, if sound quality is important for you, this is not the one to go for. If charging your phone and having the ability to charge anything on USB is also important while having earbuds, I would say this is the best bet. And if you want something that's just earbuds and you've already got a charger and you don't need that, I'd say go for these, which I've all done. These will all be reviews that I'll be doing over the next, or within this kind of same time frame. They'll all be coming out around the same time. So you can definitely check them out, but each one of these kind of offers something very unique and different. But these definitely get award for, of course, offering that USB option back there. Very chunky, but I do think that's because they're trying to get a lot of power put in there so you can charge your phone. So very, very unique experience. And so would I recommend it? Well, I would say that, as I said, if you're really needing that USB power, it's definitely a good option to consider. If you're really going for just charging your phone and not really any other USB devices, this one's kind of more of an option to go for. I forget the name of this one actually. I just put the box over there in my pile. And then this is another option. I think is the Yoleo X187, and this is the T. I forget the name of this one, but they'll all be coming out in the same thing, and they all should be in the same series. But interesting options. Thank you very much for watching, and of course let me know down in the comments your thoughts and opinions of this. This will also be in the comments if you are interested, or in the description if you're interested in buying it. And then as always, thank you very much for watching. Check out my channel for other earbud reviews, or if you're into computer stuff, we do a lot of computer stuff on here too. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.